Hello everyone, welcome to another Driven by Lee video, part 2 of the Barbarian X video. In the first video you see me collect it from the dealership. A link to that video will pop up round about here. And I said I will get it in the workshop, go over all the things I need to speak to you about with it, the work that we need to do to it. And there is a little bit of work. And first kind of thoughts. First kind of thoughts on the truck. It's a nice truck. I have actually, although it's got that four-wheel drive issue we talked about, I have actually done quite a few miles in it since I collected it. I managed to keep it in two-wheel drive, so the four-wheel drive issue wasn't apparent. But I've been 500 miles and it went to Manchester and back. I've been to work and back every day. And yeah, it's a decent truck. We have got several things we're going to do to it, so there'll be a series of things that I'll cover on what I'm going to do to it. In today's video, we'll do a few things, not all of them obviously, because we need it on the ramp. As you can see, we're in my accident repair centre that I own, and there's cars everywhere. There's over 100 cars here waiting to be repaired. And I need to get it on the wheel alignment ramp, get it on the ramp and do some other bits. So we won't be doing that today. But let's have a little talk around the things that we are going to be doing. Not necessarily today, but in the future. This thing needs to come off. I don't mind these like wind deflectors. I quite like these on other trucks, or stone guards as they're called. I've got one on my Navara, they look quite nice. But on this, I'm not sure. It looks very good. It doesn't even come all the way around the edges. So I'm going to take that off in this video. I've got a private number plate to fit on. All my trucks and cars have Lee number plates. I've got one of those to go on, which I'll be fitting it today and assigning it to the car later today, so it's legal to drive. So we'll be doing that. I have done a couple of things to it already. I have fitted new tyres to it and a few things inside. Also be taking off the wind deflectors, which are these things around the screens here, around the glass, because I really think they look cheap and nasty. A lot of people don't, but they're really not for me. So they'll be coming off. Now, the roof rack, I'm unsure what to do with that. That's a genuine Mitsubishi roof rack. I will never use it, and I think it's kind of growing on me. I didn't like it to start with, but the more I kind of see it, what do I think? Put in the comments below, do I take this roof rack off or do I leave it on? I think they look cleaner, like the lines look cleaner down the side when they're off. But yeah, I'm undecided on that. You'll have to let me know. Like I said in the comments below, do we keep it on or do we take it off? Like I say, the wind deflector is definitely coming off today. This front bonnet air thing's definitely coming off today. If anyone wants one of those for their L200, let me know, because I'll be chucking them in the bin effectively. So if you've got one of these Mark 6 L200s, let me know and they're yours. Yeah, and also we'll be doing a full electronic scan of the vehicle, see what fault codes are on, that kind of thing. So yeah, I will do first of all, we'll take this off and then we'll talk around the other things. Right, cup of coffee, let's go and get some tools. Let's do it. First things first, we've lifted the bonnet up. Now we will unclip it, this deflector. So one bit's unclipped. This bit then looks like it's screwed in as well. So we'll just unscrew. And then it literally just unclips from there like that, and it should, in theory, just come off, and it has. So there's one deflector. Oh, it's quite handy. They've put some tape on to stop the trim from marking the panels. And then what we'll do, we will then just put the screws back that hold the rubber seal back on. I really wish I'd have put gloves on, but never mind. I live and learn. I've only been doing this job for 30 years. Guys, look at that. Now that looks so much better without that on. It's left with a few little marks here and there, but I'm pretty sure with a bit of cut and compound, we can just buff that out. There's a few sort of dirty marks as well. Detailers amongst you will be probably criticising how I'm doing this, but it is a works truck at the end of the day, so it doesn't really matter how we do it. So we will just get the machine polisher and we'll just give it a little bit of a polish. I think it looks all right. What do you reckon? Looks better, right? Right, let's just take these deflectors off. Again, I'm pretty sure there's not much to these. They might just clip in. So just give them a little bit of, yeah, they do. I can see the little clips. We're careful not to break them. And they should literally just pull off like that. So they have, and they've left just a little clip over here, which we can literally just take out gently, not to damage the rubber. And that's literally all there is to it. Should imagine the rear one, it's going to be roughly the same. These are normally a little bit tighter than the front, which this one is. Just be careful, not want to damage anything. Again, just pull that out like that. And again, we've been left with a clip just there, so we will just take that out, being careful not to damage the rubber. Just got to take our time. Ooh. Yeah, you've got to be careful with these because these are really sharp and they will damage the rubber if you're not careful. And that is that, guys. I mean, look at that. That definitely looks way better. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That definitely looks a lot nicer. Result. Right, let's do the other side. So next up, guys, we're going to replace the number plates for UK Lee number plate, which those who know me, I have them on all of my trucks. So literally just unscrew these screws, like that, and like that. Screws are all rusty and horrible, which is handy. We won't be reusing these screws, we'll use new ones for this. Just give it a bit of a clean. And what we can either do is use the existing holes or put different holes in. I think what I'm going to do, what I normally like to do is stick the plate on with proper double-sided tape and then also put a screw in. So I'll just go and get the plates, the screws, and I'll join you back here in a sec. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think the number plate looks really good on there. Definitely looks better on the front with that stone guard off. What do you reckon? Like I say, if anyone wants it, or the wind deflectors, give me a shout, because they are just sitting here doing nothing and they will go in the bin. But yeah, really happy with that. Bonnet looks really nice. Oh, it looks so much better down the sides without those wind deflectors on. Look at that. That is a nice looking truck, that. For an old truck, 6 years old, that looks really nice. Trying to keep all the reg numbers of all the cars in the workshop off the camera, but it's a little bit hard. But yeah, there it is. So, I am happy with that. What other jobs have we got left to do? Quite a few. A lot more major jobs. Those tyres, look. Wow. That's so good with those 4x4 all-terrain tyres. Should help me with the puddles to work and the slippery drain covers. Maybe I'll take it off-road. I've had loads of trucks. I've never taken any of these off-road. Maybe it's time we did. So as I was saying, guys, I have had some new tyres fitted to it. Some general grabbers, AT3s. The tyres that are on it were not the greatest, some cheap tyres. So I thought I'd put some of these all-terrain tyres on. Look at the tread pattern on those. They are pretty growly. They were quite expensive, but I had all 4 put on. Interestingly, I was a little bit worried that there'd be loads of road noise, but there really isn't. So they are a great tyre. They've even got side tread on, so should be good for any conditions. And they do give it that rugged look, and I really like that. So as you can see, we're now in the vehicle and we will be doing a full scan of the system to see if there's any faults. So this is an Autel, which we use on all the accident damaged cars we repair for insurance companies to do a pre-scan and a post-scan. So we'll select the car, Mitsubishi, repair order. We don't need to worry about that because it's not a job, it's my vehicle. So standalone diagnostic, establishing vehicle collect, automatic selection. We need to read the VIN. So it's making automatic, it's read the VIN, press OK. This is a really good system, this. L200, model year 2020, all the codes of the engine and all that. So we'll press OK to that. And then auto scan, we want to scan the whole system, everything on the car. So fault scan, so here it goes. So it's now literally going through every sensor, every ECU, scanning everything, seeing if there's any faults. So far so good, as you can see. It's green, green, green. I bet it won't all be green. Pass, pass, pass. Oh, there's your first fault. I don't know what that is yet. Lin, number 14 fault. Oh, number 17 fault. Number 20 fault. Right, so let's go through the fault. RS adaptation error. Absolutely no idea what that is. Cruise control, forward collision, mitigation, radar blockage detected. I think that happened the other day when it had all ice and snow and slush over it, but I'm not sure. Knock sensor, circuit, bank sensor 1. That is not a great fault. That's the O2 sensor in the exhaust. So what we'll do, they could just be, every car has faults on it, so it could just be a fault that's occurred and then not occurred again. So what we'll do is we will quick erase. If they all erase, that's good. If they stay red, it's not good. So that one's cleared, that one's cleared, that one's cleared. So now it's got a full, everything's cool. As you can see, everything's in the green, which is fantastic. So what we will do is we will now run the vehicle, turn it on, and then, so I'm going to come out of this completely like this. So we're out of that completely. I'm going to start the vehicle. As you can see, it's started. I'm going to rev it for no reason other than I can. Right, so we're then going to turn the vehicle off, turn the ignition back on, and we're going to scan it again. That's not very thorough. Really, I should take it for a drive and then scan it again, which I will do at a later date. But anyway, diagnostics, auto scan. Come on, come on, come on. Right, fault scan. So we're gonna try and scan all of those systems again and see if any faults have occurred again. I don't think they will. No response, no response. I don't know why it's doing that now. Not too bothered. Right, this is, yes, so that we had a fault number 14, so it's now passed. So that's good. DCU, we had a fault on that, so that's now passed. So that's actually really good. So there's no, all those faults cleared, so I'm really happy with that actually. I'm surprised there was no four-wheel drive faults, because as you know, this has got a four-wheel drive issue, which we need to get on the ramp and sort a lot more thoroughly. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's got a full clean bill of health on all of the scans. As you can see, I will drive it thoroughly and then scan it all again after I've done sort of 15-mile trip and see what it reads then. But I'm happy with that. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. As you can see, we've done the number plate, we've done the wind deflectors, we've took that stone guard off the bonnet, we've polished the bonnet and made that look nice. We've done a full scan, everything was fine. And yeah, so what jobs have we got left? Well, I've got my cup of coffee for one, so I'm gonna have that. Then next time we'll do, we've got it on the four-wheel alignment ramp that's over there. We've got a very sophisticated four-wheel alignment machine here. So we'll do a four-wheel alignment because the steering wheel is slightly crooked, so I want to get that straight. Make sure everything's fine. It needs a set of front brakes because they were an advisory on the MOT, although they weren't as bad as I thought when I had the tyres changed. I was so sore, they looked all right, but I will put new disc and pads on because I have got them. It's not due a service because it's been serviced by Mitsubishi not that long ago. Inside, the seat belt, the driver's side seat belt, so annoying, it sticks. Like, you know, when you take it off and it reels back, it doesn't always do it, you have to feed it back. So that's really annoying. So I'm going to have to tackle that, which is no big deal. And obviously we've still got the four-wheel drive issue where it'll go into four-wheel drive, but it won't come back out again unless you put it in reverse, then go forward. Although a lot of people have said to me that that's normal for these to do and that people have had these from new and that they've done them. But yeah, I want to get to the bottom of that. So we'll be looking at that. And yeah, that is about the roof rack. What are we saying about the roof rack? Do we take that off or do we leave it? What do you think? Put the comments in below. Again, if I do take it off and anyone wants it, give me a shout. But what would you do? Leave it on or take it off? Put the comments down below and I will reply to everyone like I normally do. So that was it. Part 2 of the L200 Barbarian X video. There will be a part 3 and 4. And yeah, if you could like the video, please do. Put any comments in. I will reply to them all like I normally do. If you could subscribe if you haven't already, that would be great too. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.